Those who are about to receive honorary degrees will now be presented. Senior Vice President Lynn Brown will call upon distinguished members of the university faculty to present the honorary degree candidates. Assisting with the investitures will be Provost Catherine Fleming.
Mr. President, I would like to introduce Deborah Willis, University Professor, Chair, Department of Photography and Imaging, Tisch School of the Arts. Professor, Department of Social and Cultural Analysis, Faculty of Arts and Science, and Director, Institute for African American Affairs and the Center for Black Visual Culture, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Humane Letters. Will Trustee Anthony Welters escort the candidate to the lectern?
Okay. Welcome. It's really great to be here, class of 2020 and 2021. What an honor. What an honor to introduce my friend, Lonnie G. Bunch III, Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution, historian, educator, curator, documentary producer, and institutional founder. You have broken ground in each of these roles, overseeing 21 museums, 21 libraries, the National Zoo, numerous research centers, and several educational units and centers. You are the first African American and first historian to serve as head of the Smithsonian. A widely published author, you have written new chapters in the American Black experience, from the military to small towns in the American West. As inaugural director of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, you envisioned and turned into a reality a museum on the National Mall that welcomes millions of visitors from our country and around the world. They come to the nation's largest cultural destination, devoted to exploring, documenting, and showcase the African American story and its impact on American and world history. Inspired by the souls and sacrifices of your ancestors, you paid tribute to them in your determination to build a place that would make America better.
Lonnie G. Bunch III, your unswerving dedication to the idea that education and culture can enlighten and heal, and your optimism about the American future inspire us all. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
I would like to introduce Timothy Naftali, Clinical Associate Professor of Public Service, Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service, and Clinical Associate Professor of History, Faculty of Arts and Science, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Humane Letters. Will Trustee Phyllis Putter-Barash please escort the candidate to the lectern?
It's a little low. Congratulations, classes of 2020 and 2021. I knew you could make it. I am honored today to join with my colleagues to celebrate an exemplar in my discipline. Jill Lepore, David Woods Kemper, Class of 41, Professor of American History at Harvard University. Author of over a dozen prize-winning and influential books that re-engage us with the American past and its lessons. Your research and teaching explore the stories we tell ourselves about our purpose and identity. Honored for your scholarship and your undergraduate teaching, you have also contributed to the fields of law, literature, politics, and technology. Your lucid interpretations of the American narrative engage not only your field, but a vast public through your stunning breadth of subjects in essays, podcasts, and public conversations. Your much lauded writing maintains the highest academic standards of your discipline in a voice that is accessible and compelling. You continually challenge us to confront the history of the United States through the rigor of unsparing analysis and the marshaling of facts. You combine a critical eye with empathy for this diverse nation. In revealing overlooked accomplishments, you have exposed the unfinished work of our democracy, exhorting us, especially this generation of graduates, you, to repair the tattered ship and navigate by the stars.
Jill Lepore, in your scrupulous work as a historian, uncompromising dedication as a teacher, and exhilarating contributions as a public intellectual, you offer new prospects for what informed knowledge can mean to 21st century democracy. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
I would like to introduce Faye Ginsberg, David P. Kreiser, Professor of Anthropology, Paulette Goddard, Director of the Center for Religion and Media, Department of Anthropology, Faculty of Arts and Science, and co-chair of the NYU Center for Disability Studies, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Humane Letters. Will Trustee David Katz Please escort the candidate to the lectern.
Good evening, graduates of 2020 and 2021. It's such an honor to be able to introduce Judith Heumann. She is an internationally respected disability rights activist and a policymaker. Judith, you have been challenging the unequal treatment of disabled people throughout your life. You are carrying on the vision of your unstoppable parents, Ilsa and Werner Heumann. May their memories be a blessing. Among your trailblazing accomplishments, you were the first wheelchair user to teach at a public school in New York City. There's a long list. The first director of the Department of Disability Services in the District of Columbia. The first advisor to the World Bank on Disability and Development. You are an amazing and unrepentant badass, and I'm not the first person to tell you that. You have organized countless protests and sit-ins in your fight for disability rights, one of which successfully pressured the Carter administration to implement protections for disabled people and ignited a national disability rights movement that eventually led to the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, which has transformed all our lives. You also, as if that weren't enough, worked with the U.S. Congress to develop legislation that would eventually become the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, from which all of you have profited. You served in the U.S. Department of Education under President Clinton and in the U.S. Department of State under President Obama. Your reach and influence in shaping international disability rights and justice is unparalleled. Thank you, Judith, and congratulations.
Judith Heumann, your accomplishments exemplify what one person can do to galvanize communities, launch a multifaceted movement, embed its values in legislation, and energize democracy in action. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.